Hello, everybody, and welcome back at Adobe Live. I am here with the lovely Laurel Streed. Hi, Laurel.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Super cool. We're very excited to be here for part 2 of this amazing Adobe live stream. We've been working yesterday in Photoshop. And before saying hi to everybody in the chat, I want to make sure to show your wonderful work. So if you're joining us today for the first time and you haven't seen the amazing work that Laura creates, you can really quickly jump on her Instagram page, which is at Laurel Streed. And from here, you'll be able to see all their wonderful artwork. And as we can see, there is a lot of fairy tale and wonderful composite going on with different elements. We talked about her being inspired by a lot of Disney movies, and I'm gonna let Laurel talk a little bit more about her wonderful work. But before we jump into that, I wanted to say hi to the wonderful people that are joining us in the chat. We have Wade Acuff helping us out with the useful clickable link. Chad Rolfe, nice to see you. Sean, so many familiar faces here at Adobe Live. Andrea Soller, thank you so much for being here with us. And if you're watching from YouTube, make sure to head on b.net/live. So I will be able to read your questions, pass your questions to Laurel, and of course, read your comment and say hi to you in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. And Laurel, I'm gonna hand it off to you so you can tell us more about yourself and the plan for today.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Super excited to be here again, day 2, and continue working on the project I'm working on. As you can kind of see from my Instagram that's up right there, I'm very inspired by fairy tales, all things magical. I do a lot of Harry Potter. I do a lot of Disney inspired things. I also like to kind of gender bend the different characters in different favorite movies of mine. So I do a lot of me as Harry Potter. I've even done like Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. So lots of just kind of magical, fantastical things going on there. So, and that's where I'm most active. That's where I post the most, is on my Instagram. So that's a good place to start if you want to find my stuff. Okay. But yeah, I am super excited to continue on this underwater Harry Potter and the Black Lake inspired piece today.
So Laura, for the wonderful community that is joining us today, will it be possible to like have a little walkthrough on the work that we already done? So we just kind of get everybody back to speed on where we're at today, and then we can continue with your wonderful composites.
Thank you. Absolutely. So yesterday, this is where I started out. It was with this kind of fun generic sketch of what I had kind of planned out for what I wanted it to look like. Usually I start with a sketch just so I can kind of get all of that idea from my brain onto the piece of paper so I can see it in front of me. So I'm going to take this away and we can see what I did yesterday. So here is where we ended yesterday. I took this image, basically pasted all of my different body parts together to make it look like I'm floating. So let me find all of those layers. So it's under the me folder. So I took pictures just like this in my room on my own with my self timer. And I just pasted them all together to kind of get the exact pose that I wanted. So here's an arm, here's a leg, another leg, and an arm. And then I asked all of you guys, and you wanted the seahorse, so I added a little seahorse in here. Let's see, lots of different layers and adding lots of different lighting on myself to make it match the ambiance of underwater. And then these fins are actually
that's exactly what I was like. What about the goldfish?
I think Claudia likes the fins the most. They're actually just goldfish. So I found this idea from someone else to use Mermaid. To make a mermaid tail, you would do goldfish scales or kind of the tail of a goldfish, which I found that works actually quite well. So yeah, just goldfish there and a goldfish there, and just blended it up, used some different color correcting as well on the fins. And then I just cut out some kelp. We did, started working on this underwater castle temple thing. So we'll find that there. Yep, got that guy in there. Lots of different Adobe Stock photos, which has been very helpful to use. Some kelp, and I did some Gaussian blur on the kelp to make it look like it's more in the foreground and it's a little blurry. So that's pretty much where we left off. As you can see by my sketch, I still have a couple other elements I need to add in. I need to add the jersey name, so we'll do that today as well. And finish off the piece. And then I have a couple more tips and tricks that I want to share with you as well.
Oh, fantastic. I remember that yesterday you were talking about some secrets that
Yes.
are going to be revealed today. And I want to say again, hello to everybody that is joining us. Aaron is saying, I need all the help I can. So we have Yangxing watching from Nepal. Where are you based, Laurel?
I am based in Phoenix, Arizona, but I'm originally from Minnesota, which I didn't say yesterday. So if you hear an accent, that is what that is. Some people might think I'm Canadian, but no, I'm not Canadian. Might as well be, because Minnesota is, we call it like Little Canada sometimes because it's so.
Oh, that's so cool.
I didn't know that. Far north. It's kind of a joke because people, if you go to another country, they'll ask if you're from Canada. But no, just from Minnesota.
Just Little Canada.
Yeah. But yeah, I moved down to the desert almost 2.5 years ago now, which is crazy. But I absolutely love it here. And I'm very happy to say I no longer have to dig my car out of a snowbank.
That's I'm sure it's been a big temperature change for you.
Yes, it has indeed. It's been lovely.
Fantastic. So before we dive in, I just want to remind everybody, Laurel has been so super kind and flexible to pretty much add different elements. So if you have any favorite elements that you want to add in the composite, yesterday we did a little seahorse that is now friend there and is hanging out. So I think that's also super cool to see the process happening, and how super flexible and kind you are to add different elements. So if you have a favorite underwater, or maybe not, that's the beauty of working together. There are no limits to the imagination. So if you have any specific element that you want to add, maybe we can research it together and ask Laurel to add it to the composite. And of course, if you have any questions regarding Photoshop or freelances, feel free to ask it on b.net/live, because I'm going to be here reading the chat and interrupting you here and there, Laurel.
That's fine. I'm excited. Yeah, if you have an idea or you want to see something, please feel free. I'm happy to add anything that you think would look cool. Yeah, I'm just going in and editing this castle a little bit to make it fit the underwater mood a little bit more. And there's lots of different ways you can do this, which is the beauty of Photoshop and the beauty of art in general, I think, is you can kind of find a process that works best for you and just go off of that. Like, I used to do things a different way than I do now. It's not like it's a better or worse way to do it necessarily, but it just helps me now. I'm just working off of an exposure and then painting these shadows.
I completely agree with you. As I'm never tired to sit here. I watch Adobe Live. Sometimes I have it even in my background when I'm working, and it's so beautiful to see how everybody approaches their project and their workflow in a different way. I think that's one of the biggest things that I love about this wonderful community, that everybody does things differently, and it's just wonderful to see that.
Definitely. I always love seeing different people's process. It's like, I would have never thought to do it that way.
And you never know when it's going to come handy, so like super cool.
Yeah, when I would paint like shadows or highlights in, I would end up doing a new layer with like a gray overlay, I guess you would say, and then I would just burn
Dodge
and
a burn.
dodge, which isn't, I mean, that worked for me for a long time. And I think I just have a little bit more control with doing it this way now. But that's definitely where I originally started out, was doing it that way.
And also I think it depends what sort of environment you're working in. So maybe the underwater or this more fairy tale environment also tailors, I think, your workflow.
Yeah, definitely. I'm on the wrong thing now.
Do you know where the castle is from? Because it's so, like, it fits so well to be
I don't
underwater.
know. It was one of the stock images, and I was trying to figure that out too. So if anyone recognized, I liked because it had this intact arch actually, rather than a lot of the other ones were like collapsed, or kind of how it is right here. But yeah, I liked that it was intact still. Like it's still a thriving mermaid community.
Yeah. I love that.
They're still, I don't know. They've got things going on.
Things happening in there. And let us know in the chat if there are any Harry Potter fans, or in general, if you have a favorite movie or a favorite series.
Oh yeah, I never told you what house I was in.
Oh, true.
So according to the many different quizzes I've taken, I am technically a Griffin puff, but mostly Gryffindor with a little bit of Hufflepuff in there.
So I think that they were guessing right yesterday, if I remember
well. I think one person said Ravenclaw, but I don't know if anyone else guessed anything else. But yeah, so I have an extra special connection to Harry, I think. But and this is kind of funny. So this shirt is actually my boyfriend's shirt that I bought him from my old college, that has the similar colors to Gryffindor. So I always use this shirt whenever I do like a Harry Potter thing that I need to use. So it worked out pretty well, weirdly enough.
That's so cool. So that's like the go-to theme t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also have a reference photo in here of his jersey that I took just on my TV. So I might have to make it a little bit more red. And then I did actually go ahead and find the font, a similar font, I should say, to what this is. So we can type in my name, and then I should probably add a little bit of black too to match it. But
so is that a photo like underwater?
Yeah, that's the one of him underwater.
That's super cool.
I think it was right before he zaps something, I think. But and then I think it would be fun to add this at some point too.
Yes.
For like a Grindylow looking thing, maybe coming up from the bottom, about to grab me or something. Grab my fins.
I'm so jealous. Like, you have no idea. I told you, like, my Christmas present is gonna be to commission to myself. Like, anybody's listening, if you ever want to give a Christmas present.
Yeah.
And I remember that you were saying the thing would be to commission anything like that with someone else's as a character. All you need is just different photos in different positions. So
exactly, yeah. I mean,
probably,
if you're comfortable with that, yeah.
Definitely. Jump around. I take a lot of silly photos of me jumping.
That's a good one. You could do a lot of things with that.
I kind of put like the camera on a table, and I have like 3 steps on the backyard. So what I do, I just put the timer on the camera, and then I go on the 3 steps, and then I do very silly jumps.
There you go. You do a lot of, I don't even know, like you in the sky or something.
Ooh.
So I do need to figure out what else I want to do in this background. I was thinking to add, which one was it? I think it was this one. Just another temple in the background here. Oh no, so all my clipping maths went away. So we're gonna undo and try this again.
So we have a question from Wade asking if you can please walk us through the process of the way that you're compositing in the ruins. But I think you got more ruins happening. So
Yes, so I kind of start with just placing everything in a general place of where I want it. And then I kind of go in and figure out what I want to do from there. So let's see here. For this one, let's put this one away. Oops. So for this one, I usually start with a generic curve layer just to get to where it should look. So I just did, let's see here, pulled down the exposure in that mid-tone curve, pulled down the red, and then upped the blues a little bit more. And then I went in with the exposure. And what I do, which is probably not the way to do it, but I pull down to where I want it. Like I want the darkest to be. So I pulled it down quite a bit. And then I fill it with black to put it back to where it was. And then I paint them back in. So I don't know if that's exactly the right way to do it, but that's just the way that works for me. Yeah, that's the general. I can show you on this other ruin too of what I
And
do.
you were saying that you don't necessarily plan everything ahead. It just kind of,
yeah, sometimes it kind of just becomes what it wants to become, funny enough. Like you might have an idea of what you want and then it turns into be something else. I've found that happens sometimes. So we'll just put that here for now, just in the distance, small. And then, so now we need to match it to the underwater. So let's go in with the curves. Oops, exposure. Well, we need that too.
I love that you also say that you like not only are inspired by Disney or by other stories, but you also have your own stories.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have self-published my own book and I love to write, so I do a lot of that. And I like to kind of add stories to my own edits if they're like not a like if there's something I've made up like completely on my own, then I will usually like write my own little story to go along with them. So I'm gonna pull down. I don't want those shadows too dark. And actually one thing I noticed here is that these shadows, the sun is coming from here because those shadows are going the other way. So I'm gonna flip this image actually. So that, because our light source is kind of coming from a little bit more this way, which I changed yesterday because when I took this picture, my window was right here. So we gotta kind of, again, like finagle it to be matching to this, because I can change everything around, but I can't really go back and take these pictures again right now. So, I mean, I could if I really wanted to and on my own time, but I don't really want to. So I like these and I do like the lighting from this angle. So we're gonna keep it. So we need to flip this one first.
So you're just trying to find what is more efficient for your time.
Exactly. So yeah, that works. Maybe a little smaller.
Kimmy in the chat is saying, I've always wanted to help design a book.
It's really fun. There's a lot more that goes into it than you would ever think, which is kind of funny. But yeah, a lot of the layout and how things look on the page it's a lot of work. But it's fun. Oh, that's not what I want.
And I'm gonna go ahead and see if I find your link again so we can give a shout out to your book. Do you mind repeating the name?
Yeah, please? It's called Finding Time. It's on Amazon. And if you just type in Finding Time and then my name, Laurel Streed, you'd be able to find it.
I'm searching for it. So how long you say that it took you to create your first book?
Oh gosh. I mean, I think I wrote it for about 10 years, honestly. I started it in 8th grade when I was a young, angsty teenager. But yeah, it's gone through a lot of changes and a lot of I guess growing up almost as I did kind of while writing it, you know. But yeah, it's kind of a mix between The Giver and The Hunger Games, and it's kind of like a dystopian, futuristic society kind of a thing. So, and it's a trilogy. So I'm working on the sequel and the 3rd book still.
So that's just part 1. Stay tuned for more.
Exactly.
More
I know. And I feel so bad because I haven't been writing very much lately, and I'm like, I need to get this finished. Like, people want to know what happens.
I think you can only do so many things, because you said that you already work full-time, and then you do these amazing composites. And
thank you. Yes, I do have a full-time job, which is awesome to have, especially after being unemployed for so long in the pandemic. That was not a fun time, but it did give me a lot of time to do this, which is awesome. Only good thing that came out of the pandemic, I think, was being able to do more art.
I was just wondering, what is the longest that you ever took you to do a composition, one of your composition?
Oh gosh. It's a good question. I mean, I am usually pretty fast now. But I mean, gosh, I don't even know. Maybe like 12 hours, maybe more.
That's still fast.
Yeah, I think some people spend a lot of time on them, and I don't have that much patience. I'm like, I just want it to be like done. Like I kind of said yesterday, I need to learn how to enjoy the journey a little bit more and not rush myself. I'm just, because I get so excited, I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to see what it like looks like when I'm done.
Well, trust me, I totally understand. I'm just getting excited to see you working. So
I think for this one too, I'm trying to find a good speed between not too fast, but I also want to get it done so I can show everybody.
And I think like when you start to get the pieces together, like we were saying yesterday, you know, like it's happening, like you start to see.
That was my favorite part, when I think I added a cliff or something. You're like, it's happening. I was like, yes, I love that. I love the hype.
You can see like you underwater and the scene just really taking shape, which is beautiful.
I know there's sometimes a moment there where you add something or you change a color and you're like, okay, that was it. That was the moment. That was what we needed here.
Oh, you're gonna remind little Claudia's voice saying, it's happening.
It's happening.
And we have a Yangxing Tamang saying, I started compositing in Photoshop after I watched Doctor Strange. It was shot in Nepal and they made it more dreamy than it looked in reality. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Love Doctor Strange. Did you enjoy the movie?
I did, yeah. I actually got into the Marvel game really late. Mm-hmm. I think part of me was like, oh, it's too overwhelming to like start watching all of these movies, and there's so many of them. But I saw Thor, I think Ragnarok, in theaters. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hysterical. This is so good. Like, why haven't I been like watching this? So I started getting into it a lot more then. And yeah, I do like all of those Marvel movies.
What is your favorite so far?
I really like Endgame, Infinity War. I really like those two. And I really like Thor Ragnarok. What's another one I really like? People are probably like screaming at me because they're like, why haven't you seen these? But yeah, I think those are probably some of my favorite ones.
What about Ant-Man?
Oh my gosh, I love Ant-Man. I was like, how did I forget Ant-Man?
How can you forget Ant-Man?
Oh, I do love the first and second one. Those are funny. I love Paul Rudd. He's hysterical.
Yes.
He's got like just a direct line to my funny bone. I love him. We're gonna save because I need to remember to save.
Let us know in the chat if you have any Marvel, if you like Marvel movies, and if there is any of your favorite ones that we mentioned or that we didn't mention. We're always super excited to know. And remember that while we're here, Laurel is also going to be adding some extra elements. So once we're going to be finishing off with the underwater ruins, then we can move on into different elements, and it might be an element that you can suggest in the chat. So if you're watching for YouTube, just tune in on b.net/live and just comment in the chat. We're here. I'm here always reading the chat, passing any question. This is, as I said, always here, Laurel, I repeat it all the time, but I think it's totally worth it. Adobe Live is such a safe space to learn together. And I think that's a great opportunity for everybody to ask questions, especially when, you know, we are so lucky to see you work in your live here.
It's so true that, yeah, when you're learning art, it can feel so discouraging. You're like, I don't know how to do that, or I feel stupid. Like, there's really no dumb answers or no dumb questions, only dumb answers because everyone's learning, and you can't beat yourself up for not knowing something, because how would you ever know everything all the time? Like, it's literally impossible. So don't feel bad. And I'm still learning.
What's going on? What's going on there?
I'm just so I had taken like this generic kind of blue color, and I'm painting it in on, it's a little too dark, but painting it onto these cliff looking things just to get a color to make it match a little bit more. And I think I want it to be a little bit more green, actually. It's a little too blue, because I know in Harry Potter it's a very green tinted. Actually, we'll go here, and then we'll go like this.
And then something else that I noticed of your when I was scrolling through your Instagram page, and by the way, if you haven't yet, make sure to go and follow Laurel on Instagram at Laurel Streed, just her name. But you use a lot of orange and cyan or orange and blue, so that kind of cinematic. How do you say? I don't even know how to say it. Cinematic, I think.
Oh yeah.
Cinematic look.
I really like those colors, and yeah, I know cinematic style is definitely orange and blue. You'll notice, if you don't actually know that, if you look at movies or movie covers, it's very orange and blue a lot of times. But yeah, I just really like those colors together. Oopsie, we went somewhere else here. I don't know, I just think they're like two of my favorite colors, so I just use them a lot. And I do a lot of things with water, so it just ends up being blue.
And in the chat, we have some inputs in terms of movies. So Ferry says that he likes John Wick movies.
Oh.
Yang Xing, for underwater, I will be very much inspired by Aquaman. Oh, yeah.
I actually haven't seen that one.
What?
I know, I'm naughty.
How that even happened?
I know, I think
or not happened.
I was like, oh, we need to watch Aquaman. Like, I don't know. It just hasn't happened yet. It will though. Don't worry. I'll get to it. I think it was on HBO, or maybe it's still on HBO Max right now. So I will get to it. I promise. Don't yell at me.
Barry is mentioning JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I've not seen it.
I don't know that one.
I'm gonna go and Google it because I'm curious now.
Yeah, seriously. Usually, at least I've heard of something, but yeah, that's.
And by the way, Norsh is specifying Aquaman is DC. Just so. Thank you so much, Norsh, for
that's true.
letting us know.
I do love all the Batmans. I've seen like all the Batmans.
Oh, I love Batman. Batman is like.
I always
want to. Yes. I had like a Batman crush when I grew up. It was like the man.
Yep. I think Christian Bale. Yeah.
Because I think it's always been like Batman or Superman in terms of superheroes.
Yeah.
And I was like Team Batman.
I think I like Spider-Man too. I think he's a fan favorite.
Now you're making it hard.
I mean, Tobey Maguire, I know he's kind of a meme, but I do love Tom Holland. I think he's one of the best Spider-Mans they've ever cast. Unpopular opinion, maybe.
What about cartoons?
I keep putting it off, but I need to see the newer Spider-Man that came out. The what was it called? Not Multiverse. Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I really want to see that still. I know that came out like a while ago now. But I am the person that I have a lot of like hesitation with starting new movies. I would rather rewatch Friends for the 800th time. Which is, I mean, just like a comfort thing, I think. I think a lot of people have kind of felt the same way. I know people are like, do I watch a new movie or do I rewatch The Office? I mean,
I think I do the opposite. Like I end up watching a lot of new movies and I'm just disappointed, I think 70% of the time.
I know, I think that's where the struggle comes in, because I'm like, what if I don't like it? That's an investment of my time. Like, but yeah, sometimes it's worth it to put in the time. Yeah, there's something intimidating about starting a new movie. I don't know.
I really like the Spider-Man Spider-Verse, but what is it called? I don't know the name either.
Something with Spider-Verse. It's like Spider-Man.
I think it's called Multiverse though. Because Spider-Man From Home was the last one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there's Homecoming, which is the live action.
Yeah, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. Okay. That sounds okay. I don't even know what it's called.
I really enjoyed it. So that's something that I will definitely suggest you to dedicate your time to. It's really worth it.
I know a lot of people really liked it, and it was kind of like a new style, a new almost like way of doing movies, so to say.
Yep. And we have a little bit of a controversial question from Ferry.
Oh.
What is your most hated movie?
Oh my gosh, that is a good question. I'd have to think about it. I don't even
There's
know.
like maybe like an actor or something that is not.
The only one that's coming to mind right now, people are probably gonna like log off of this, but they're gonna like, I watched Notting Hill a million years ago, and I just remember it being the most predictable movie. Like I could literally like guess the line that they were going to say before they said it. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is just too much.
It's supposed to make you feel safe, I think.
I know. And then again, I love Pride and Prejudice. Like I love that movie. And I was like 10 years, 15 years late to that game as well. I only saw that during the pandemic for the very first time. And I'm like, where has this movie been my whole life? Because it was so good. I know some people think it's so boring, but I just, Mr. Darcy, like I love it so much.
So we have Kimmy saying that it just finished Friends, and Wade is asking, did you finish for the first time? So no spoilers. Will Joey ever work with his hand twin? So many questions.
With his hand twin. Oh gosh, that's funny.
Barry says that really hates Fast and Furious 9.
Oh, okay.
Just the 9 though.
I haven't even seen those movies because they're so far out of the realm of like what I would like. So no offense to anyone if you like those movies. You're entitled to your own opinions. But yeah, I don't know. I think they've made a lot of them.
They made a lot of them.
There's too many.
I think like I don't have any specific hate or anything, but like I perhaps slight dislike for Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I think he's got a few fans, you know, like it's, I don't know.
I just don't see the expression. It's just one of them like, what's going on? Like, is that a bad thing or a good thing?
Standing with his wide stance in every movie he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Cage.
I think that's funny.
I do love National Treasure though. The first one is pretty good. But that one's almost like a nostalgic thing at this point.
Yeah. I think that is more like because in Italy there are so many memes about like the face, like, you know, because you cannot really understand what's going on. Like happy face, sad face, surprise face, shocked, scared is all the same sort of, you know, look there. So
I love when people like paste his face onto other people or they like blend it with other people. Those just crack me up. They're so funny.
Early stages of deep fakes.
Exactly. Let's see.
Oh, I love how we're taking like a spin on like TV shows, and
I do love movies. Those are, I mean, I'm doing an edit off of a movie basically, but yeah, there's something. I think movies are a really cool way to like bring people together and stuff too. Like fandoms, like I love a good fandom.
Nourish saying that The Rock is a good movie with Cage.
I have seen that actually. That was a good one. Surprisingly, pretty good. My boyfriend is very much into the action and the horror, and I like a little bit more Disney and like happy things. So he's been good about getting me out of my shell and forcing me to watch movies that I would normally not choose for myself. But yeah, someone's got to do it.
Gotta explore sometimes.
I know. I'm like, okay, I guess you're right. I should get out of my comfort zone.
We have more friends comments. So Ross was going to Photoshop Chandler. I think someone was asking, like, that's what Kimmy.
Oh yeah, that's right. He definitely did.
Let me go ahead and see. I think there was another comment about friends and Photoshop. Yeah, Yang Xing said, once Ross said he was going to buy Photoshop software, real graphic in Friends, and that made me smile.
I do remember that. It's probably inappropriate to say, but yeah, he was going to do something naughty with Photoshop.
Something silly.
Something not the best.
And welcome to Glenn, Lambert, and Biola. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited. Biola, so nice to see you. So happy to be here. We have such a lovely community here, Laurel. We have people that return and watch and spend a lot of time with us through these wonderful streams. And by the way, I haven't mentioned at the beginning, but it's definitely worth mentioning, and I'm going to do it right now. If you want to learn more Photoshop, you should tune in just before us. And of course, it's going to be, I think, for all the rest of this week. Let me just get the date and the time right. So it's going to be as well tomorrow, every weekday at 9 a.m. the wonderful and fun Photoshop Creative Challenge, now hosted by the lovely Kathleen Martin, where you can join even if the challenge is already started. You can join at any time. You're welcome to join also the Discord, the Photoshop Discord, which is a wonderful community where you can share your work, get feedback from professionals, share your work with other students, with people from all over the world. It's such a beautiful community. So it's very exciting to see people from different streams. Make sure to tune in at 9 every morning for the Photoshop Creative Challenge. And after us, we're going to have Julia with the Illustrator Creative Challenges. So all you have to do is just head to behance.net/live and just check below us, below the video. You're going to find the schedule and you see all the wonderful streams that are going to be live here at Adobe Live and on Behance as well, because there are so many other talented artists streaming. Oh, we got the octopus.
We do. I'm gonna try to add him in. I figured it would be a good addition.
How did you, how are you cleaning up the image?
So I did the handy dandy subject to basically cut it out. Photoshop is amazing with that ability that it has. And it's available in this, I think is it in any older versions? I know it's in 21, but it's makes my job a lot easier. But then I'm just going in with masks and cleaning it up so that I'm not working destructively. So everything is still there. It's just hidden behind the mask, which I learned the hard way of how to do masks and how actually working non-destructively is way more helpful. And it might be, I mean, I guess you could say it's more work, but in the end, it's going to save you time.
Absolutely. And there are so many other wonderful ways. And that's what we were saying. That's so the beauty of working with Photoshop. I think the latest release was under properties. Whenever you select an image, you can just simply click on remove background and that will real quick remove the background. But, you know, whatever way works for you, that's the best way. And I love to see the way that you're creating it. And it was super fast. Like, that's why I asked you. I was like, what happened there? I've just seen the octopus and now it's all cleaned up.
So this is another thing that I typically do with my color correcting. So obviously if I just left this octopus like that, it does not look like it's actually in the water. So I go in, I have my image, and then I go in and I add the exposure. So I'm going to take this exposure and I'm going to pull it all the way down, basically until the darkest part. So as you can kind of see, the shadows would be on this side since the light's coming from here. So I'm going to pull this down all the way until maybe like there, until they almost match, because these are really dark. These are almost black, but pretty dark shadows there. And then I'm going to go in with my bucket tool, put it all white again, and then we're going to paint them in again. So it's, again, a weird way that I do this kind of stuff. But so then now I have a little bit more control over like that.
That's so cool.
So
Junkie Shan saying you love sea creatures. I saw one of your Insta picture, you being a mermaid.
Yes, I am a mermaid actually.
Y'all just don't see it, but there is a tail.
There's a tail down here under my desk. I was that little kid that like played mermaids constantly in the pool, or at the lake or whatever. But yeah, I really I love the mythology behind mermaids too, like luring sailors to their deaths. And I don't know, there's something just kind of like empowering about that. So I love to do mermaid stuff like Peter Pan. I just did another mermaid thing. I reposted an old edit I did of my friend actually, and there was a line in Peter Pan that I saw, and it's when Wendy meets the mermaids at the Mermaid Lagoon, and they like start to splash her, and she's like, stop, and then one of the mermaids is like, we were only trying to drown her. Like, dang, why are you so savage? Like, we're only trying to drown her.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember that tone, just being like, you know,
like, okay, that's
what we do.
That's okay, I guess. Like, Peter's just laughing, like, oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh, you scamps.
I used to love the movie, the Peter Pan movie.
Yeah, it's definitely dated now. It's not the most PC, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Ugh.
probably I'm dating myself
Yeah,
just
I'm
by saying that.
like there's a lot of questionable things in that movie now, which when Disney Plus first came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to rewatch all these old movies. And I rewatched Peter Pan and I was like, this is this is different than what I remember.
Yeah. You know
Oh,
what happened? Something. I watched Power Rangers again after
like the
so long, and I'm
original?
like, yeah, like the one that I used to watch, and it used to be so like futuristic and so realistic at the time. And when you watch it now, it's just like that's
Nope.
rubbish. That's
It's
like
rubbish.
foil from the kitchen.
Oh my gosh. Like their suits or whatever.
The suits and like the spaceship, when they try to be in this, this is just like very small studios productions, and it just feels so weird because I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Isn't
I
that
was the
funny?
yellow Power Ranger for a while, then was the red Power Ranger, and that was like the future. And then you watch it now and it's like, excuse me.
Excuse me.
What is that?
It's almost disheartening because you're like, I remember this being so cool as a kid, and you watch it again, you're like, oh, it wasn't as cool as I thought it was. Oh well. Um,
So
what else?
very saying, when you're talking about Mermaid, I started to falling in love with someone. Very, and then it's like a little emoji with the zip mouth. Very, is that a secret? We want to know. We're here.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening, just us.
No, spill the tea, as the youths say.
Yes, please. We want to know now. And we have another question. Do you ever use pixel squid?
I actually just learned what that is when I was watching a previous live. And I looked into it a little bit and I thought that would be a really, really cool thing to start using actually. So I might have to swing on that in the budget.
And that's, as I say, the beauty of hanging out here at Adobe Live. We always, no matter how many years of experience you have, you always learn new things. That octopus is looking wonderful.
Thank you. I'm gonna go in. I just did a curves adjustment just to give it a little bit more contrast. So just to add a little bit more dark on those really dark spots. Actually, it's kind of funny. One of my most liked pictures on Instagram I did with a squid like coming through my door, and I'm like holding the door back. I could try to find it, but
I'm
way down there.
I'm on it. I'm on it.
You're on it. And I had actually done that on my iPad on Procreate, which is it's like baby Photoshop.
Oh, and there is you and Nemo as well.
That was another one that got a lot of attention. Surprising. It's very strange how Instagram works sometimes. It's like you could work so hard on something and it gets like no engagement whatsoever. And then other ones go crazy. Like I didn't think the squid would get like any likes. Like I thought it was just gonna be like nothing.
Oh, but there's also a cat. There is a superpower of a cat. I think the cats do things on photos. You have I have it here actually. Here it is. So for everybody that wants to have a wonderful look at Laurel Instagram, make sure to go ahead at Laurel Streed, and that's the photo that we were talking about. That's the squid that is trying to push the door open, and I love the way that you got the water splashed in the middle as well.
Oh yeah, I drew those by hand, I think.
Here it is. So flew with
him. Yeah, that's it.
Yes. So cool.
Yeah, that one was a fun one. And my cat was actually sitting there while I was taking the pictures of myself. So that was kind of a fun little I
I
was like,
love it
I'm gonna
because
keep him in because
it's totally like that's what a cat will do, you know.
I know he's like, what's going on? I'm not helping, but I'll watch.
And let's see if I can show real quick the Nemo one if we're
Oh
still
yeah,
here, because that
that
was so
one
sweet.
that
Because
one's
like
one of my favorites.
Nemo lives under your bed. They're like the luckiest person ever. That's so beautiful. I was to meet Nemo.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good example of something that I started. I was originally going to do like a field of flowers in my room, and it ended, I was like, okay, now I'm going to try seeing what water looks like. And then as I was building it and building the light and the water, I was like, okay, this is actually like turning out okay. So
I think it looks fantastic.
yeah,
I just give it a like.
thank you.
Super beautiful.
That was that one got picked up by a lot of feature accounts, which was really cool. So I got featured on a couple different ones, which was great honor.
And do you also do your own drawings, or is mainly photo composition?
I do, yeah. So I do a little bit of illustrations. I kind of started as a drawer back in the day, which I think it also helps to have, you know, a background of art knowledge when doing this stuff, because you know you have a good foundation of how to do things, which I think has helped me for sure. But yeah, I got a iPad during the pandemic as well, just to try to stay sane and do a little bit more art, because my old equipment was very dated and didn't even have like the smoothing tool like you see here. So yeah, I needed something a little newer, and it was really fun to kind of explore the illustration side of things, or like drawing again, actually. Working with that stuff. So I've been doing that, and I'm trying to add some more like actual drawings and illustrations into my work a little bit. So
I'm reading the chat, and Ferry saying, I just realized earlier, if I use my own photos, it's like using a fresh ingredients to create a soup. And if I use stock photos from website, it's like using an instant soup powder or mixture. I think that's a really nice.
I like that. Yeah. That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Really nice metaphor, Ferry, there. Of course, you know, if you have the capability and, you know, if you want to use your own photo, that I think that's a really good metaphor. But for all the other rest of us, that like, I'm very terrible, I think, with time and taking photos. I admire others' photos more than I admire mine's. So yeah. I think that's still the options of using other website. But yeah, Ferry, that was really cool.
Yeah, I would agree to some extent. I know some people have more resources than others to do that kind of stuff. So if you don't have like a camera or something to do your own images, then feel free to use stock photos, you know, and as long as you're creating and practicing, I think that's what matters the most.
There is something magical that I see in your composite, that it just, there is a moment, like even now with the octopus, where it turns from a photo into like a fairy tale character.
Like
I think you know, even with your hands yesterday, you were doing something to because you were talking about, I think, how in water you lose the perspective, or is less on focus. I think you were blurring, if I remember well. But
yeah, like we'll probably need to see, like if you kind of zoom in, you can see the seahorse is very high quality, so it's not as blurry as like my arm is right here, because you can kind of see some noise. You can see a little bit of like graininess in here. So that's another thing I'll do, is I'll go in. Now I should probably label my seahorse so I don't have to find it every time. And I don't know why, they used to be able to click on it and it would pull it up, but I'm probably doing something wrong. Seahorse. So what I'll do here is I'll go in add a little bit of Gaussian blur, which might seem counterintuitive to make your images blurry. But if I really zoom in, I should up it just a tiny bit. Just a little bit, like that looks good to me. And just blends it a little bit better. So it's not popping off the page as much. And same with my hair. I should probably do my hair as well, because you can see there's a lot more detail here than there is here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go in.
So what is your process to tackling those details? Do you just keep zooming in and out?
Yeah, and it also helps to like see how much. It's just a tiny difference. But yeah, I think sometimes too, I will download the image and then send it to myself so I can look at it on my phone, because sometimes there's something about looking at it on the screen for so long and then looking at a new screen helps to kind of spot more differences than I might not have noticed. So this one all the way up to 8. So now it matches a little bit better. Maybe has a little bit more like movement. Yeah, I think that's good. What we also could do is add a couple more little hairs. Let's do that. So yes. I have a very awesome, let's see. I mentioned yesterday the account Pix Imperfect, and he has a really cool, so here we go, Pix Imperfect hair. He's got a really nice hairbrush that does these really cool hair strokes that are super helpful. So we're gonna do some hair. Just pick a couple.
I think it's super cool that you just kind of credit everybody where you learn different things. Is very nice.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, especially like if I learn something from someone and they are like making money or trying to make money by basically like sharing their skill, I think it's only fair to credit.
Absolutely. And let us know in the chat, first of all, welcome Frank. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know if you want any other special addition, because we are now refining. I'm here just watching and enjoying Laurel's doing the work. Sorry, I was just right there taking credit.
No, you're good.
Like, yeah, we're doing a lot of work now. Laurel is creating this wonderful piece, and now she's refining the hair. But remember, we can add some extra friend in the composition. So if you want to make sure that you add, we can add your idea, just let us know in the chat on behance.net/live or b.net/live, and drop us a comment and let us know, what do you want to see? Do you want to see sea star, or it can be anything. It'll be very funny if someone says something like a horse, like or
horse and just swimming along in the background.
Yes,
it's funny. We're gonna go put this.
Also, Wade was saying that's a great idea, viewing from different devices. I completely agree.
So sometimes I have like the too much gene and I add too much. So it's finding a balance too. Like, okay, I need to make sure I'm not going overboard with some of this. But that's why I really like this brush, because when you draw with the pressure, it makes those tiny little strokes, and it's tapered at the end too, which is kind of cool. So, because hair usually it tapers off. So I've found a lot of success using these brushes.
I love how you're like super keen with the details, and it makes a difference in the overall, something that you might not expect making a difference when you're going into creation. Then it completely does afterwards. So super cool.
Yeah, it's surprising how like that's what they say in drawing too, just, you know, or painting, it's the details will really make it pop, make it go from it's okay to wow, okay, that's really good. And like you might not even really be able to see it, but it adds a little extra, like it's my hair is really floating.
And that's the reality in underwater. Like underwater, you never have your hair perfectly floating all together on one side. There are always like a few strands. They're like escaping with the different currents.
Exactly.
Sorry, I'm feeling this so much.
I'm gonna save. I'm like, I need to remember to save more often.
And in the meantime, while you save, I just want to remind everybody that in 30 minutes, actually in 28 minutes, we already started the countdown. As you can probably see here at the bottom of the video, we are going to have the artist spotlight, and we do have a very, very special, I mean, everybody's special, everybody that is featured here and is super special to us. But today I will say, I don't want to give it away, but I will say is definitely a really close friend of the Adobe Live family. So stick around until the very end, because we're going to have we're going to review the artist spotlight work here. And if you want to promote yourself or someone else to be featured and to during this artist spotlight, just make sure to click on the tab at the very top of the chat on be.net/live, and you'll be able to submit someone else's work, someone else's profile, or even your own. So stay tuned, because we're going to be more than reviewing, it's just really showing off and showcasing today's artist work.
That's cool. I love your accent, by the way.
My accent?
Yeah.
What sort of accent do I have?
Because it's, I mean, you said you're from Italy, but I hear some of your words have a little bit of English, like British sound to them, which is so fun.
Thank you. Actually, that's probably the first time that I'm ever gonna say this, and I don't think that many people know, but I think it's a good time to do this little reveal. I just not officially is gonna be the 28th of July, but I'm gonna become a British citizen.
Oh my gosh! Congrats!
Thank you. That's
huge.
It's fun that now like I also have some British accents. I don't know how to do it. It just
some of your, I think it's like your nose or like no. Like,
no.
No. Like, oh, I love it.
That's funny.
I would 100% pick up a British accent. I was like, if I was living there, I would try my hardest to pick it up. It's so endearing.
It's so fun. I lived in America for a while when I was younger, so I think I got such a mixed. That's why I was like, "What accent can you hear?" Because I don't even know.
I hear, and your R's sound American, like here.
Okay.
You know, but
Viola saying, "Oh, Claudia, the Italians will be upset." Viola, let's slow down. Let's chill. I never said that I was going to give up my Italian citizenship, so I'm going to have a dual citizenship. Italy and pizza is in my blood. I'm sorry, that cannot be taken off. So I'll still be Italian, but added to my Italian citizenship, I'm naturalized as a British citizen, because I've been here for so long. So yeah, just to clarify.
Yeah, we don't want anyone upset.
No, we're all happy all together.
Yes, that's so cool.
Does the octopus have a name?
I don't know. He looks pretty menacing so far. Does he deserve a name? Trying to suck me down to the depths of the seabed.
I'm gonna grab your hands.
I'm gonna get you. I'm trying to think. I think I might add a little bit of blur to him as well.
And I really would love some suggestions in the chat. Let us know what we should add. I love to have like new elements. That sea turtle is so funny. I always think it's part of your composition.
Oh, I know.
So like, especially because he moves.
He's just have some animation added in.
Oh, have you ever done anything like that?
Not really, honestly. I've done some in Premiere. I did a little video on my Instagram of, I'm a big Avatar Last Airbender fan as well. Um, so I did like a animation of my eyes opening, and it was like the
Ooh,
Avatar eyes and the Avatar
so
stick.
cool.
So that's really the only like actual animation I've done.
Because something quick that I think that you could do is, and I'm just again throwing ideas because I'm in love with what you're doing, but probably on Adobe Stock you can get some videos of like bubble. I'm not saying right now. I'm just saying like for
Oh.
future references, but like maybe have, because there are. I used it for different compositions myself. There are video with just bubbles. So maybe like if you have like a shell that has like bubbles and bubbles away,
Oh, that
you
would be
then
really cool.
you just literally drop in a video file and it just bubbles away.
Oh, that's so neat. And then it kind of just loops and
Yeah, because when
interesting.
you can save it into a looping uh,
That's
video
really neat.
or yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into that. Because yeah, I think I always love seeing when people have like a kind of a static image and then they add something like that, like bubbles that just kind of just, I don't know, make it a little bit more interesting.
And I think the beauty of adding videos in Photoshop is that like you can completely get away from the animation. So if you don't want to get into that, and because you spend already so much time with these beautiful details, you can just literally get a stock video that is already animated and then just have like the little thing moving, you know, or just maybe the top of the sea. I don't know. I'm just
Yeah.
talking my crazy.
All good. I love it. I might have to play it. Yeah, that could be really fun.
And that's I think for Instagram, and I'm gonna then shut up and let you work, but I think that for because you were talking about Instagram engagement for your book as well, to promote your work, videos in general do generate a little bit of longer time of people spend more time on your posts, and that triggers that Instagram gods to be like, oh wow, people spend a lot of time on your post and it's just a video. So
yeah, I tried doing the reels on Instagram too, but those are hit or miss for me as well, and it's hard too because like I did like a behind the scenes like speed edit with the reels, and yeah, they were okay. I don't know if the reels just don't like me.
How did you set it up? Like, did you do a screen recording, or it was like
I would do for that, I did a screen recording and then I sped it all up, and then basically like from start to finish screen recording, where I would just like click all of the layers on and off, which is kind of archaic, but you know.
And we have Fergie and Barbara joining us. Thank you so much for joining us here. And as I said, in 20 minutes, we have the countdown for the artist spotlight, which is very exciting. And we have so far one suggestion to add a whale. So I'm going to give you still a little bit of time. We have the artist spotlight, and then we're going to still have a little bit more time, maybe to do like a recap of all the work done here by the amazing Laurel. And let us know if you want to add. Oh, you're on the whale, like bang.
I'm like, oh, this could be.
Yeah.
This sounds
have you ever used the whale before?
I don't think I have.
Ooh.
But now I'm wondering, whales are only saltwater, and this is a lake. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I could do a shark either then. Oh, no.
I love how everything is fairy tales, but then like
I'll add a whale. Why not?
Facts.
I need the whale. I'll get the whale in here.
We can also wait and see if we have other suggestions, or we can put different.
This guy's so cute though. Look at him.
So Fergie say that she did that Pottermore quits and I'm a Ravenclaw. Haha.
Nice. My brother is a Ravenclaw. So I like a good Ravenclaw. We're gonna put this I'm like getting nervous now about my clipping masks. Like I don't want them getting all messed up.
And the beauty of this is that we're going to see the process of pretty much you introducing a new element from scratch.
So I should probably maybe like kind of by the surface, pretty far away. Very clear. Maybe he's about to get some air. So I'm gonna put, let's do this actually. I think we should pull exposure down just a little bit. But then since he's pretty close to the surface, he should probably have a decent amount of light on the top. So we'll go in and bring that back on top of him.
Do you have any preference in terms of how you do your lights or your coloring? Do you do, you know, there is like a specific order in which you proceed, like first you do your coloring and then you do the light at the end, or not?
I think I normally do my light first. I think I usually do the light first. So like here I'll do the light just because, I mean, this one might not be too much of a crazy difference because like the light is already coming from the top. It's not crazy highlights or anything. Like he didn't have like a crazy glaring, you know, something on there, and not super dark on the bottom. So for the light on this one, at least, he's looking pretty good. So then I think now I can go in and start with the color. This one I need to make a clipping mask. And then for this one, I'm gonna take this color here where he's by, and then paint over all of him. And then
sorry, I just read something. Wade said maybe the whale is a polymorphed student, so it still works.
My dad is calling me. Oh, look at that. Let's do, he's in the background. That. And then we gotta make him blurry. Oh, you know what we need to do actually, since we made a mask on him, we need to convert to smart object. I thought I had turned off my notifications, but apparently. And then we can go in. There we go. And he's pretty far in the distance, so let's see what it looks like. It's just kind of playing around with things, like
that's so beautiful.
Thanks. And then another little thing I like to do, especially with underwaters, because when you're looking through, there's substance, right? There's water in between me and the whale. You're looking through a substance at this whale. So this makes him look like he's a little too clear, like he's still a little too like on the page. So what you could do is, of the actual whale itself, is pull down the opacity just a tiny bit. So now he looks like he's, so I can't do it too much or else it's a little too, but yeah, like now it looks like he's a little bit more in the water, like that.
So cool.
Yeah. And I will need to probably blur these little guys as well. Let's make a group. Well,
that happened so quick, like it just became part of.
Yep. I just select all of these, use shift, and then this handy dandy folder, and it's a whale.
Super cool.
We added a whale. I might as well add the shark then. I mean, right? Right.
I think you were focusing on work, but I was mentioning Wade saying that maybe the whale is a polymorphed student, so totally works.
There you go. Now we're thinking.
Are you gonna be okay though with the shark?
I don't know. Maybe the seahorse will protect me. Let's take down this exposure because he's pretty. See how much brighter he is than everything else. So this one might need a little bit more work. So yeah, you can really see those highlights on him still. So we'll just do a little bit there, and then I'm gonna go in with the curves. And for this one, if you're familiar with curves layers, this top bit is the highlights. So you can take the highlights all the way down. You gotta kind of play with it a little bit. And so this would be a good example of something that doesn't quite fit in with the scene. So like he's pretty close to the surface here. So I could put him up here more, but I don't really want to. So for this, I'm going to look at where'd my pen go? I'm gonna look at these highlights, bring those down to where I want them to be. I'm not even gonna think about the rest of this. I'm just gonna take where the highlights look good. And again, this would take a little bit of finagling. And then I can dump in black and then paint just the highlights.
Oh.
So let's see if this works. We're gonna do a little. And I'm gonna cut him out anyway, so I'm not too worried about off there. So yeah, you can go in and
that's clever.
Do just those really, really bright, almost pure white. And then I need to go down a little bit more.
So we have a whale, we have a shark, we have a seahorse, and the beautiful octopus. Which one is your favorite so far?
I mean, the whale turned out pretty good. I like that whale. And the seahorse is pretty cute too.
I'm Team Octopus.
Team Octopus, yeah.
It's curly.
I do like the octopus.
Curly tentacles. Also,
yeah, that's a little bit better.
Everybody's talking about the quiz.
Oh, the Pottermore?
Yeah. And Wade's saying, I kind of resist any quizzes that tell me what I am, especially when it's a fake it believe anyway. So I'm Gryffindor.
There you go.
Done.
I'm all for it. I know I'm a little biased in those quizzes because part of me is, I mean, in those quizzes too, there's a question that says left or right, hot or cold or whatever. It's like, what? Like, how does this determine? Like, I think they're trying to be like creative with.
Oh, very creative.
But I'm like, I don't know. That doesn't seem very accurate. Like, how does left or right determine what I am? You know?
Yep.
But yeah,
they were in a rush.
I'm trying to remember what I did all the Pottermore stuff too, and I don't remember what my wand was or anything. I took the Patronus quiz like a few times. I got an otter once, which I was really excited about because it's like my favorite animal. So.
That's super cute. And we have a question, do we have a Chinese version? No, we do not have a Chinese version. Chat is English only. Although Wade was really sweet and I think he did reply in Chinese, which is amazing. Super cool. I wish I could read, but I don't even try to attempt. So I'll miserably fail.
Yeah. I took like 6 years of French, which is proved very non-useful, unfortunately. No one speaks French.
Laura, every time that you do these steps, I'm like, no, what are you doing? Why you're deleting everything?
Don't worry, I promise.
Ooh, it's back.
I know, we're back. We're good. And this is another thing that I've still kind of tried to learn is I don't really know what order. So like when you have layers, like this is the first, second, third, like reordering them, like I don't know what the right, see how that just changed it? Like I don't really know what is the right way to do things. So sometimes it just takes some like rearranging and like that looks better.
And it's also completely personal and completely relative to the composition.
Yeah.
The only thing that I probably do, because I'm really obsessive, I have an obsessive personality, I would probably color code. So like all the layers for the shark are purple and all the layers of the,
Definitely.
So that's,
I'm a little more chaotic, I think.
oh, that's totally fine. Trust me, like you save a lot of time in your life.
I know, like, ugh, how do I do this to myself? So I got groups as well.
I was just gonna say I even go into the point of order, like from the darker color to the lighter. So I'm sure that you are doing much better.
I don't know. I'm just kind of doing it how I've been doing it for a long time, and I don't know. It's hard to determine what exactly is the right way to do things. Always learning, that's for sure. All right, so the shark looks a little too bright still for me. So we're going to just do another. So again, it's lots and lots of layers to get the desired lightness or lighting, I guess. So like, I'm not just gonna pull this all the way down and make it like super dark, all of the entire shark, because part of him needs to be a little lighter. So like that makes a little too dark. And then I can go. Excuse me.
What is the most layer that you ever used in a composite? If you ever.
Oh my gosh, I did a room of requirement Harry Potter edit. If you know what the room of requirement is, it's a bunch of objects in a room. So I can't even tell you how many. It was like over 150 at least. Yeah, because I had individual chairs that I would like put all on each other, and then I had to make that into a group so that it was kind of its own thing. And just it was a lot of layers. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? Like I knew what I was getting into. It's the room of requirement. It's just a bunch of objects.
But then you're more committed to it. So
yeah, I liked it. I debated posting that one for a while actually, because I was like, is it good enough?
So Farina Design says, wow. And Ferry is giving us some tips here, saying that the shark looks greenish. You should make the shark more bluish.
Cool. Let's try that. So what I could do is I could go in with my curves. There we go. I think that's the money right there. Does that look better? I think that looks a little better.
Let us know, Ferry. As per requested, we adapted. I love it. I mean, I love it either way. I also think that there is that green plants there that maybe can cause some optical effect, like, bringing all the greens together. But
another thing I like to kind of sit back and look at it as a whole too, because if you're up really close for a long time, you'll kind of lose sight of what it looks like. So going all the way back out and now I'm saying this looks way too green. So we're gonna find that one.
I was gonna ask, are you gonna bring any orange elements into this one, or are we just gonna keep it on these?
That's a good question. Oh, we need to add the text here still. Okay, but let me get this cast. Okay.
And just to give you like a time frame here, we have 5 minutes until the artist spotlight, which is going to take 5 or 10 minutes. We're going to show off and showcase the wonderful artist featured this week. And afterwards, we're going to be back working. So don't worry, even if we end up starting the artist spotlight, you're still going to have time to finish off. So, and, you know, if you don't finish it off completely today, don't worry, you can still finish it off, and then we're going to follow you on Instagram and on Behance, and we're going to look forward to see the complete one. So take your time and do whatever you prefer. I just wanted to give you like a general where we're at.
Thank you. So I noticed that with Harry's jersey, he has this black on the top, so I'm going to add some black on mine as well, just so it looks a little bit more jersey. So for that, we can do another layer, and then I think what I could do is just kind of go in and paint with 100% opacity, and then we can go in later and fix it up. I think it's just kind of a, and this might be a little tricky because there's these folds. So we can kind of just like a generic little looking thing.
Do you ever use the camera raw filters with your composites, or not really?
I don't think so. No.
I can really see your, you know, you were mentioning your background into fine arts and the foundation. I think it does really come through the way that you work. It's very artistic.
Thank you. Yeah, I was definitely one of the artsy fartsy kids growing up. Still am, I guess. But yeah, I was always loved art and painting and all of those classes. Those are definitely what I did the best in school. So now I'm gonna go and look at these different filters, and basically, I think normally pin light is, maybe not. Could do luminosity. Let's put this opacity down just a tiny bit. I like that. Not bad. And then what happens if we duplicate it and do, oh no, it's not what I want. That always happens. Wonder, I'll just do it this way.
And by the way, I just checked in the chat. Fairy was happy with the whale. Sorry, with the shark. So
good. I'm glad I could assist the whale. Let's see what color does. That's good.
And we have 1 minute before we jump into the artist spotlight. So
ooh. Okay. So I'm just taking away the color of the shirt. I don't know, does his have the collar? Okay, yeah, so he does have it up there. Not that it has to be exactly like his, but I do like having a reference to check on things. And oh, sorry, go ahead.
Timer is to 0. So it's time for the artist spotlight. If you want to, I don't know if you just want to take a few more seconds.
Okay. I think I'm good for now, but then I'll come back and we can do the font.
Fantastic. So for everybody that is here, we are going to jump into the artist spotlight for today. And remember, if you want to go ahead and submit your portfolio or someone else's portfolio for the artist spotlight, all you have to do is to join us on b.net/live, and then just click above where it says artist spotlight, and you'll be able to submit that portfolio right there. So we are about to reveal, drum rolls, we're about to reveal the artist spotlight, the artist that is in the spotlight today. As I said, it's FAM. It's someone that is part of the wonderful Adobe Live team. I'm sure that many of you were going to be excited to see today's artist. And here we are on my screen. We can see already that is the wonderful one and only Team Mobest. And Team, I hope that I pronounce your last name correctly. But we are so super happy and super honored and excited to showcase Team portfolio here on Behance. And Team is in the chat. Yes, Team is there. Paco also saying our very own Team Mobest. Fantastic. The Team bot also. Laurel, I don't know if you know Team, but if you are going to hang out here with us more on Adobe Live, you're definitely are going to end up meeting the wonderful, and as I said again, once more, one and only Team Mobest. Team is here helping out with Streams 360. I think he lives inside Behance. That's why we call him Teambot as well. So Team is an amazing designer who lives in Halle, Germany, but also he hosts, does productions, is mentoring, is in the chat, is moderating, everything and everything more. And much more, because we're going to see here today also his work and some of the work that is featured in the Photoshop and in Capture in his project. So I don't know if you see the screen and if you want to go ahead and choose any particular work that we're going to start with. Laurel, I don't know if you...
I'm looking, let's see. Wow. Oh, the Star Wars one automatically caught my eye. Ooh, custom bokeh.
We can go whatever we want.
Yeah.
Let's start. Where should we start?
Options.
I'm going to start by the horse colorful filter.
That's cool.
Oh, Team, thank you so much for writing in English. I was slightly afraid that there was going to be in German, and I was like,
German.
All I know is that ich bin Schülerin or something like that, like I'm a student. That's all I remember. Yes. But Team, we have here a video with gradient overlays in Photoshop. So let's see if we can actually play the YouTube videos in here. That's super cool. So first of all, I didn't know that you could embed YouTube videos like so inside a project. So we're already learning something. That's super cool. And this project, here's how to use super vibrant mesh gradients and overlays. We have the link to Team website as well inside the project description. You can either download the gradients one by one, or you can sign up with your email, get a link with all the file and raster for the vector form. And we can see, and I'm just going to give it a like. Team shows you in the video how to download one of the gradients and then really quickly apply it inside Photoshop. Fantastic. Super cool. I really didn't know that. And then we have some Photoshop pro tip. Here's how you can modify a selection in Photoshop using the free transform tool. Oh, that's so cool. So we have a lot of different videos. Did you know how to do that?
I didn't know you could do that.
Let's have a quick look. Using the transform selection. Super cool. So I definitely learned that you can embed videos. Team, if you are in the chat, let us know, how did you do that? How do you place the video inside Behance. A team is saying, I go by many names. Adobe Teamsay is probably his favorite. So we're going to call you Adobe Teamsay. For those of you who don't know, Adobe Sensei is Adobe Artificial Intelligence. And of course, then we have Teamsay, the very alive intelligence behind Adobe Live. So I like that as well, Tim. I think it really suits you. But I also found this one that is the gastronaut. Oh, that's so fun. So we have Gus, which I'm going to just read the description. Lee, one of the Adobe Live team members, challenged me to make a photo of Gus, aka Gasbot, aka Adobe Live, and do something fun with it. So I did. What you can see, oops, what happened there? Let's go back. What you can see here is the result of me having some Adobe Stock credit left, and me being bored. Enjoy the 1 minute time lapse. So that's super funny. We have Gus, which is here part of the Adobe Live on Adobe Live, and we can see super quickly our team. That's like super fast working, but most importantly, we want to see the final result here. So if you want to go ahead and watch the entire video of Gus being transformed into an astronaut, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can just appreciate the masterpiece here. So we have Gus, the Gasbot Adobe Live, flying with those helmets. And
oh gosh.
I was very fortunate to visit the Adobe Live studio in San Francisco, meet Gus, meet the wonderful Paco that is here with us behind the scene, making all this wonderful show happening in time and making sure that everybody looks nice and everything works and you guys can hear us. So I was lucky enough to be there. And those helmets, the helmet that you can see Gus wearing is actually a real helmet that they have in the studio. So that's super fun. See that all put together. I must give it a like, the gastronaut. That's so funny. Tim, I never explored this, but I'm so glad that we have you on the artist spotlight. It's super, super exciting. So as you can see, we have so many different how-to, which I believe they're mainly in Photoshop. And we have some Adobe Live socks, just a mock-up, just for fun. Ooh, I wanna. Can we make this, please? Would you wear some?
I need
super
some
colorful
socks like that.
Yes. They look so cool.
Wow,
Super
that's
cool.
awesome.
Let's see. Do you want to go ahead and do the Adobe Wars?
Yeah, I want to see what that is.
The guy on the left is Rufus, Creative Cloud Evangelist. And the dude with the lightsaber, it's me from 6 months ago. Please don't ask why. So here we have pretty similar to what we're doing with your composition as well. So we have an adaptation of real photos, stock photos to match a theme. In this case, Star Wars.
That's awesome.
I love that we have all the credits.
I know. I was just thinking that in IMAX.
In IMAX, of course. Team, there should have been Adobe Max 3D. That's so funny. Big shout out to Rufus, of course, and team. That's so cool. Team, I'm so excited about this. And I can see probably other evangelists here. I don't know if you're familiar with the wonderful Adobe Evangelist team, but they're super mega specialists that are usually traveling around the world or at events or online now, showing us all the new features. And we have Terry White, Jason, Paul Trani, Rufus, and Michael Chase, of course, here on the very first. And let's see what happened here. Those are some sketches of the Adobe Evangelist. Are they particularly good? No. Team, we love the.
It's pretty good. I don't know.
They're super cool. It's just a team is also very, very fun. but since I'm not a painter, I don't mind. Don't zoom in too much. You'll see all the flows. I use a reference to paint them, a monitor with picture next to the painting. Oh, wow. So those are like actually hand painted? Those are really good.
I was gonna say, yeah, those are incredible.
Wow. Oh, so those are like, so this is actually a photo of some real sketches. I'm shocked. Team, let us know in the chat. Team is like, oh dear, those are so old. Those are amazing. If this is like a real sketching, I actually thought that he took a photo and he just, you know, maybe just trace it or done some filters in Photoshop. Super cool.
Nice.
Let's see if we do one more before we jump back into your work, Laurel. You pick.
Do the Starry Night.
Starry Night. So we have another pro tip. Wow. With this pro tip, you can make a lot of photographers really angry.
I was gonna say. Oh.
Don't ever tell them the secret. My hope with this is to show people new and obscure workflows in Photoshop. You only need very basic Photoshop skills to follow the instructions, so give it a try. Oh, fantastic. So in this case, instead of a video, we have a step-by-step. I love the way you created this project, team. So we have one single image with the title, and then the step-by-step, and then next to it, we have also the little screenshot or where you have to go in order to make this happen. Fantastic.
Wow.
And if you like brief tutorials like that, let me know. Maybe I'll post more for the next daily creative challenge. Super cool, team. We're so happy to have you here always at Adobe Live in every form your team sensei takes here, as a mentor, as a guest, as a host, as a producer, as pro tips, tutorial, DCC, everything. So it was an absolute pleasure to host today Artist Spotlight with Team. Don't forget to click on the Artist Spotlight button at the top of the chat on behance.net/live in order to submit your own or any other artist that you wish to have under the spotlight here. And I believe it's time to go back, and I'm sure everybody's curious to see how we're going to finish off the work with our amazing Laurel. So ready to go underwater again. Everybody take a big breath and
I was just gonna say, everyone get your goggles. Oh gosh. All right, so let's see here. Where did we leave off? I think we're ready to add the Potter font on the back, but let's do this first. I think I need to make this a little higher. And then it's up just a tad. It's getting close to being done though, which is exciting.
Super exciting. I was just sharing some hearts in the chat. Oh, where my voice gone? Sorry, I was just like, took last breath that I had.
Don't die on me. Okay, so I actually went ahead and pretty much already found out what font this kind of is that he uses. So let's see here. Like it's got some serifs. It's pretty generic. So I kind of did some research beforehand because I was like, I don't know what kind of font this is going to be. So let's see. It comes up already. That's really big. Hold on, gotta move my.
Do you usually add text in your compositions, or is not?
Not usually, actually. So this could be an interesting experiment, so to say. Let's see. Where is my text now? That's the worst when it gets just hidden. So we're just going to put it all the way at the top for now. There we go. So I kind of worked already on this a little bit because I wanted to know what font this was. But this is just something Ricoletta, I think is how you say it. So I think we need to make it a little thicker. So let's go into stroke. Oop, too much. And I'm wondering how I'm going to make it look like fabric. So we'll see. And then we need to arch it a little bit. Not bad.
It's happening.
It's happening.
I don't know where my voice is gone.
Oh, that's okay.
Here I am.
I know, I don't talk this much in my normal day-to-day life, so it's, yeah. I'm going to convert this to a smart object. I think we're good on the text for now. Something like that. And then he also has a star. So I think
of course
this should still be a star.
And in the meantime, while you create the star, I want to say hello to the lovely Julia Masalska, which is here in the chat. And of course, she's going to be here with the Illustrator Creative Challenge just right after this stream. So don't worry, you can stay tuned and watch the end of the stream. And then we're going to have a little break so you can grab a glass of water, make a coffee, and then make sure to come back to watch Julia with her super fun Illustrator Creative Challenge just coming right after here at Adobe Live. But for now, more underwater magic.
Exciting. Let's rasterize this. See, this is something that I don't even know how to do. Like, I don't know how to color this without like rasterizing it. So I don't know everything. It might seem like I do, but I definitely do not. So I'm okay with rasterizing this because it's just text and I'm not too worried about destroying it. So let's find this color again. I'm just gonna do a generic. Ooh, that looks pretty bad actually. It's very pixelated. Let's try this.
And just to give like a quick tips on the properties panel, usually you have all the properties for the text included the fill color.
Yeah, let's maybe do that then. We'll go back and unrasterize it. Or not make it a smart object, I should say. Try to make things a little easier for ourselves. Oh yeah, and I did have the stroke on there that I need to change. Something like that, I think, right?
Okay. And by the way, you know, it's underwater, so a little bit of like blurry pixelation. I think, look at that. It needs to be there. It's part of the plan.
There we go. That's better. And then we'll put that back into rasterize. Oh, let's do this actually. There we go. And then we'll add the star back in. Little star. Cute. So if anyone has ideas of how to warp this so it looks like it's actual clothing, let me know, because we're just going to experiment.
So what I'll probably, I think the quickest thing to, if you want to add like a fabric effect, it would be just to go on Adobe Stock from the libraries, or, you know, maybe you were saying Unsplash, anything, and just find whatever fabric you want and then just mask it over and multiply it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. But like with the curves of the shirt, so like the actual text needs to be kind of like warped a little bit, because it's not just Like that looks like it's just straight text like on an image.
So if you wanna try something, if you select it and press Command T or Control T to transform, and then if you head at the very top of your bar towards the right, there is like an icon with an arrow at the bottom. It's like a grid with an arrow at the bottom. It's at the very, very top bar. You know that where there is like the tick, and then there is I don't know.
Oh, you're here.
Yeah, that one there.
This one?
Yes. So from there, you can jump right away from the transform tool into the work tool. And if you go at the top where it says split, you can either use a custom, or where it says split, you can actually add split point. If you bring your cursor inside, it just allows you to split the main bounding box in as many places as you want. So you can actually start to create little anchor points to move things around.
Well, that's really cool. Oh, look out. So let's see.
And I mean, that might take time, or
I know, I might need to go and let's see. So I can go in and do this too. Oh, that's really cool. Huh. Okay. Might have to go back in and do that on my own. So, I mean, from far away, it looks decent. And then let's see here. What other elements do I need to add?
I love it that you use your own name. I think it's Streed. Yes.
Yes. I know I have kind of a weird name, but that's okay. All right. What am I missing? Let's go back to my sketch. Let's put the sketch back on the top. Oh, I got to tell you guys my little trick that I use. So I could add a couple more little fish, schools of fish, maybe some more kelp, I think. But before we do that, I want to show you my little trick. So if I'm pretty much like, let's say I'm done with this, I'm like, okay, feeling pretty good about where I'm at. What I do is I go to the very top of all of my layers. I go to hue saturation, and I'm not going to click this because I want it over the entire piece, and I'm going to completely desaturate. Now this allows me to ignore all of the colors. Don't even need to look at the colors right now. I'm just looking at the lighting. So if I look around, I can see that pretty much like this dark is about the same as this dark, which is about the same as this dark, this dark. So all of my darks are pretty accurate. I could go back in on this octopus and make him a little bit darker just because, he's not as dark as this shadow here. And then my lights. So this is about the lightest I have, and this is the lightest I have. And those are pretty, this is a little bit lighter, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. And then, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the little trick I do to make sure that all of the lighting looks good. I don't remember who I learned that from either, but
no, that makes total sense. We'd love to see these super tricks. And we have just literally a couple minutes left. So probably 1 minute, 1 minute, 2 minutes top. So if you just want to just show us real quick, maybe the initial photos and then the final, just so we kind of see where we got it from and then where we got to with this amazing, it looks lovely. I mean, I don't even think they need to work the text, because overall with the composition, I think it looks super cool.
Not too bad. I think maybe I'll add a couple little shadows and that'll be good. But yeah, so let's start with a couple of these sea creatures. So I added this shark, lots of different layers on the shark to achieve the underwater look. There's our shark. We have a whale. And again, I used the down on that opacity just a little bit to make it look like he's sitting in the water. Got this school of fish here. What's this one? Seahorse, our little seahorse friend. Fins. Once again, I use the the goldfish to show or to use. Oops, not that one. Yay, goldfish.
That's so amazing.
Just a fun little trick of how to use or to make a fins, or you could do a mermaid fin that way. Lots of different things you could do with goldfish. And
Laurel.
then, oh yeah.
Yeah, no, I just want to please show whatever you want to show me.
Oh, okay. And then, yeah, so there's me. I put together all my different body parts together, stitched them Frankenstein's style. And yeah, I mean, lots of different elements in here. It's definitely not done. I have to add a couple more things, fill out this background just a little bit more, but then you'll be able to see the final image on my Instagram, and I'll also post it here on Behance.
Fantastic. So go ahead and follow Laurel Streed on Instagram. We look forward to see the final. I want to say thank you so much. I had so much fun to hang out with you here, Laurel. Thank you so much. And thank you so much to everybody that has been joining us here at Adobe Live. Stay tuned. There is more Adobe Live fun coming with Julia Masaska and the Illustrator Creative Challenge. And then Lavender, I think it's called. I hope the artist coming afterwards with more fun here at Adobe Live. Don't forget that next week, Adobe Live is off for the summer shutdown, but there are many more streams and artists here at Behance streaming anyway. So stay tuned, keep watching Adobe Live, and tune in on Behance for some more wonderful creative fun. Laurel, thank you so much. I absolutely love my time here with you.
Oh, thank you. It's been so much fun.
And thank you so much, everybody. We're going to see each other soon. Grab a glass of water and come back for the Illustrator Creative Challenge. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.